Good morning, people. I have a small video today which is sort of a tutorial but also like a request for feedback, because I don't really know why this is happening, but I have found like a workaround or two how to sort of fix it. Okay, so I have two models here in Fusion 360, and if I align them perfectly next to each other, like you see they are perfectly aligned next to each other, and I want to project this shape onto the other one and the back. Now, normally this would just project in a perfectly straight line, and I have measured and made sure that this circle here is exactly the same shape as the other one, and you can see that it perfectly aligns with the edges when you are looking at it straight down the line. But the thing that happens here, which I really cannot explain, is let's say I make a projection surface like this, and then it should be totally parallel with this side, or even if I move it over here, it doesn't really matter. I'm not sure if... Okay, I'm just going to show you the problem first, and I'm going to try something that I just came up with. If I create a sketch here, actually I need to move it further down. So I have this one main selected, and then this is the construction plane, and I'll just move that edit feature, and I'll move it a distance too, because I want it close to this object, so I'll move it to here. Now you can see the construction plane is moved alongside here. And then I go and I edit that sketch, which is still linked to there. Now what I find strange is that I'll just remove the plane so it's not visible. If you press P for project and you go here, notice that the project is sort of misaligned to the edge. And when I go and hide the main view, okay, I'll hide the model itself. I'm still looking straight down, but you can see that the projection is going to make a sketch that is sort of misaligned to the middle of... Oh, it's better. Now I can breathe. Had to open the button of my pants. And you can see that it gets misaligned, and what I found is that if you want to realign it, you have to move it, but you have to move a copy. So what you do is you bring back the original one, which was this one, and then you do a measurement. You can just go in and you say, okay, I want to measure, because this is the projected point, and I want to measure that to here, and this is just like 273, but that's not correct, so you just go here and you click to get a straight line, and now it says minus 0.3506. So just take a note of that. Okay, in Notepad, minus 0.3506. Copy that. Okay. Now what you can do then is you can just hide the main one, and you can go in and you can say, okay, I want to select this surface, and I take Control C for copy and Control V for paste, and then you basically just move it sideways by that amount. Now you see it, now it wants to move it, so I need to use plus. Now you get a model that is following the exact same curve as the original, and now it will work. But I was thinking, what if when I make the offset plane, what if that is like skewed skewed just a little bit. That would basically reflect wrongly onto the other projection. So let's see if I can use an origin instead. So I'll go here and I'll select the origin, because that should always be the exact correct position. Since I have centralized it and I have put it down to ground, it should always be correct. So let's bring back the object again. But this time I'm gonna use that offset plane to make another offset plane. And then I'm gonna put that to distance to object. And then I'm gonna set that distance to be here. And now I have hidden the offset planes, and I press OK. Now, for some reason it's not showing that offset. It's just tiny. That's why. Sorry. I'll just increase it now. So, if my theory that I just came up when I started this video which sort of fixes my problems, you don't have to move it. It's also going to fix some. If I had used the previous one, it would probably skew and extrude, so the extrusion would not be correct, because the whole plane is sort of misaligned. Let's see now what happens if I now go and try and project that very same thing. So I select that and I press P for project, and then I go and I do the same here. And what do you know? I think I actually found the reason why I could not project it correctly. You see, I'm just gonna go hide this one first. I'm gonna hide that one just so I'm not confused. P there, right? And you can see actually that this projection is perfectly aligned. Ha! Talk about figuring something out when you're actually making a video to explain something else. In case you're wondering what the deal is, I'm gonna try and show you again. So let's make a circle here, just to show you how the P, okay. I'm just gonna make a circle that is on that plane, and I'm gonna make a line. L. Okay, so this line is now 90 degrees, and I go out of the sketch, and basically see, I'm gonna bring back that model. Basically what you actually get is a construction plane that is on an angle side, turn it 90 degrees. By definition, it seems like it is 90 degrees when you select an object here. Like if you select the surface here, it looks like it's a perfect perpendicular to the surface, but in reality it's not. In reality, edit, it is more like minus 0.03506. So it's basically no longer 90 degrees. And if I go in and check this object again, that is actually 90 degrees, which would be perpendicular, minus 0.3506. It doesn't have to be like an exact millimeter, it's just to illustrate. And what you then get is, if you look from the other side here, it looks like it's straight, but it's actually not. It's actually a little bit like this or like that, depending on the angle. So when you then project from the other side, you get a projection that follows that direction of the offset plane. So the actual projection that you're going to send to the sketch will be misaligned as to where it's supposed to go. So I don't know if you actually understood that, but it's like let me see if I can try and draw it with paint, just to make sure you understand it. So we have an object here, and we have an object. Let's see. I'm just going to make it exactly the same. Copy, and I'm going to make it transparent, just for the sake of it. Okay. So you have these two objects, and then if you want to make a projection, you would say, okay, I want this projection to be a fat line that goes from here. Now, if you select the origin, let me see. If I had used the origin to make this line, why is it so difficult today? So the origin is the orange. That would be perfectly perpendicular for both of them, which means that if I projected it to go into a straight line like this onto the other object. But because I am using either by clicking on the surface here or the surface there, and that surface may not actually be 100%. This is just an illustration, guys. That surface may not be 100% accurate, because it may actually be like this. Just to illustrate, okay? So if you click on the surface, which appear, because this is a STL file I imported, and you get a lot of planes or faces. So if I think I am clicking on a surface that appears to be like the blue one here, flat and perpendicular to that object, then it's actually not, because what I would be doing is I would actually be selecting, let's say, this surface here, and then I would offset that surface, thinking that it would appear like this on the other side. But in actuality, it doesn't appear like that. It appears like this, and it is actually not even on line. So it's like when I project it, it gets projected like this towards, like it gets projected on an angle. So when I have, let's say I want to I want to project a point from here. Why is everything so small? To project a point from here, then it will appear a little bit to the left on the other point. So if you ever get these kind of things where you have offset problems with it sort of becomes misaligned to what you thought it would be, then this is probably because your offset plane is based on the surface or the face of the object you're trying to offset to the other object, and that plane is not 100% straight. So what you should do in those cases is use the origin planes, and you offset the origin plane to a point in the model where you're gonna go to. So in this case, you have the offset plane, as I did. So you click on the origin offset plane here, and you use that as the template for the alignment of the new offset plane. You click on that and you select, okay, I want it to be located on the same field or level as this one. So I select the point of where I want it to be and I press OK. And then you see it get it here because it's small. But this one is now perfectly perpendicular to that object and also the other object if you imported them correctly. Now if this object has been rotated, it will not be like that, but these two have been imported perfectly perpendicular to each other. So that is how you solve the misalignment of offset problems. I hope this was helpful, and it was helpful for me. I learned something myself. And if you like these kind of videos, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.